Let's have a little pillow talk. It's been a while. Let me see. Tonight, let's talk about trips. Um, let's go back to 1975, I think, or thereabouts. I was 10, going on 11. I was between 75, 76, 10, 11. And my dad, he was a third engineer at the time, I think. First of all, there used to be two boats that used to travel, one to through the Caribbean. I think one was for cargo, and I think the other one used to carry cargo also, but they had passengers as well. And one was called the Federal Maple, and the other one was the Federal Palm. My dad used to work on the Federal Maple. I think he worked, as far as he said, he worked on both of them, but at the time he was working on the Federal Maple. And he decided he was taking the family for a trip around the Caribbean. And I wanted nothing better. I was young and ready to explore. It was excuse me, I think it was summer break. Yeah, it was summer break, so we had a long holiday from school. It was primary school I was at the time, Kingston Prep. And we left. Our first stop was Barbados. Well, my mom and I used to go to Barbados somewhat regularly, I would say. Like every few years, we would take a trip there. I had an aunt there. I enjoyed Barbados. I love Barbados. I love the way it is. It's beautiful. Not like our island. Our island is mountainous. We have a lot of mountains. Barbados is mostly flat, but it's beautiful still. And we I can't well, let me just say first that this was like so many years ago that my memory of the trip is vague, to say the least. I could remember some things, and then some things I just seemed like they just disappeared from memory. But I remember we went to show in some of the islands. I went to show in most of the islands I went to show. My mom didn't go a show in all. I went to show in St. Lucia. I went to show in Barbados, St. Lucia. I went to show in Dominica. Dominica is lovely. We went to a river. My dad and my mom and myself went to a river in Dominica. Yeah, it was pretty murky. The water was pretty murky, but it was warm. It was so warm. I enjoyed it. Oh, I enjoyed the water. The water felt so warm. Almost bordering on hot. And that was the river. But it was nice. We went ashore in St. Kitts. We went to, let me see what other island we went to. Lord, there were so many. Dominica, St. Kitts, Antigua. My mom and I went to show in Antigua. She took me to a restaurant with we had lunch. She had I think it was a beef roti. I had a burger. um, experience in Dominica, in sorry, Antigua, with the food was not a good one. But well, the trip was fun. But just the food was blah, blah. Anyway, I wouldn't call the name of the restaurant, even if I could have remembered it. And I had a lot of fun on the boat. Oh my gosh. There were some other children there belonging to the captain, and we got along pretty well. We played cards. Oh, we hung out. It was really, really nice. I had a friend, one of my dad's friends there. He was the bartender, and he would give me, Lord, I forgot the name of the drink, but it had Pepsi in it, and then when he put Pepsi and whatever else, he would put a lovely maraschino cherry on the top, and I would drink that. Oh, I had so many of those. God, I had so many of those. They were so tasty. We used to hang out in the bar. Well, no one was around at the time, but we used to hang out in the bar. We used to play cards, all sorts of other games. There were two girls around my age, and one of them was a passenger also. The captain's daughter and a passenger. We three of us hung out a lot. We run all over that ship. Oh my God. There was a certain part my dad said I shouldn't go, so I never used to go over to that side. But where I could have gone, I used to go. And we had lots of fun. But the most difficult journey that we had on the ship was when we got to Antigua, and we was heading to Jamaica, and it was a journey of 3 days going straight and 3 days coming back straight to get to the other island. From Jamaica back to Antigua is 3 days. From Antigua to Jamaica, it's 3 days. So the first time we're going to Jamaica, I was in the bar. We were all there hanging out and things and playing all sorts of games and all of that. And I was there until very late. And my dad, well, told me that he made arrangements for me to sleep with one of his shipmates, a lovely lady. I forgot her name. Lovely lady. And it was like after 11 o'clock in the night, and I just had one of those fantastic Pepsi drinks that I think Carl was the name of the guy in the bar made for me. And I started feeling kind of weird because the ship was moving really messed up. And as I was going down the corridor to get to her cabin, I was wondering, like, why is the boat moving like this? Because I was trying to walk in a straight line, and I kept finding myself against the wall, staggering into the wall. And I was scared. I was really scared. And I started to feel queasy in the stomach. So as I was going down, no, I think I passed Carl, and he asked me if I'm okay. I said, yes, I'm okay. I just feel a little upset. and well, everyone on the boat used to look out for us. And I told him, well, I'm heading to, my dad said to go and sleep with, I forgot the lady's name. Oh my gosh. I forgot her name. Anyway, My dad said I must go and sleep with her. And I was making my way to the cabin. And he said, well, it's just down there. Go on, go on. Take your time and go. Hold on to the wall and go. And when I got there, I knocked. And she got up and she opened the door. And lo and behold, as soon as I stepped into this woman's cabin, God, the most embarrassing thing happened to me. As soon as I stepped into the cabin, I was like, bleh. And every bit of that drink that I just had came flushing out of me like a waterfall all over the floor. She said, go to the sink, go to the sink. And I was like, what? I was like, what you saying? And she said, go to the sink. And she made me, she took me by my shoulder and my hand and she took me over to the sink. And whatever I had to come up, everything came up in the sink. Oh Lord, so there was puke, vomit, projectile, whatever you want to call it, all over her floor, all over the top of her sink, and the whole entire sink was topped up with whatever food that came up with it. Lord, I was so embarrassed. Oh my God. First time meeting the lady, first time sleeping over, because I saw her in the ship, but my dad never said, well, this is XYZ or whatever, and she never really interacted with us or so. So all of a sudden, I messed up this woman's entire cabin. When I finished throwing up, she put me up on the bed, up on the bunk, where I was asleep, and I fell fast asleep. Needless to say, in the morning now, I was so embarrassed. I apologized. I kept constantly apologizing. And my dad came and got me. So at least Carl came and got me. My dad sent him for me. And I went and I met my mom. I told my mom, well, what happened and all. And she told my dad, and my dad made apologies and things to the lady and whatever. And I was so embarrassed, oh my God. I used to just stand at the side of the ship and just look through the rail and look at the sea. I love looking at the sea. That's the only way that I can travel now on a ship, on a boat, any ship, boat, anything. I have to be able to see the water moving, or my whole entire belly is going to come up. I am afraid of the ocean. I'm afraid of anything that moves on the sea. So I am so terrified that, let me just give a moment. Let me segue from that, the trip a minute. I used to dream. I used to dream that the kind of fear that I have of the ocean. Let me just explain the fear that I have. I used to dream at nights that I am walking on we have a wharf, a Grenadine wharf, and we have the big harbor. So the Grenadine wharf now is a smaller wharf, but it's sturdy and all of that. But when in my dreams, it's not sturdy. You know, they have some floating wharfs, literally floating wharfs, that when you walk on it, well, that is it in my sleep. I was on the wharf, and every footstep I make, it's going like this on the water. Jesus, Lord, help me. That's the way it was going in my sleep. So that's the kind of dreams I used to have where the sea is concerned. So I was like terrified. I don't know, when I was little, my mom took me into the water after I was screaming and carrying on about going to bathe in the water. And she forcibly took me into the water. So I don't know if that trauma came from that. And even now, when I go into the water to bathe and the water gets to like here, I will feel like my throat is locking off, like I can't breathe. It's really, really bad. Like I cannot breathe at all. I'm getting over that a bit because now I can put my head on the water and bring it back up and not feel like I'm stifling. I can enjoy that. But the seawater and I cannot swim. So seawater and where I just stay, I go into the water and I stay where I can, it's at my waist. And if I feel too wet anywhere else, I just go down in the water. I don't go out. Period. I do not go out in the water. Period, period, period. At all. So back to the trip now. After this night, I puked the whole ladies' cabin down. And my dad apologized and thing. We had so much fun. There was this Indian girl on the ship. She was a passenger. And she used to give me, she had a lot of, because Indian folks like the hot stuff. And she had a whole humongous pan of chana, roasted chana peas. And it was spicy. Oh, I ate so much of that thing on that ship, yeah. Lord have mercy. I would drink the drinks and because I have always been a picky eater. I've always had problems with what I want to eat and how I want to eat and all that. Even now, sometimes I feel to eat soup and I don't. Another time I feel to eat rice and all that. Anyway, we used to hang out a lot. All of us used to play Go Fish and other card games on the ship and explore the entire ship. Well, where we could have gone. And the trip to Jamaica, as I said, took 3 days and 3 days back and forth, going and coming back from. And when we got to Jamaica, the captain, I think he was a captain, or he was the head over daddy's department, my dad's department. My dad was third engineer. I can't remember, but he was going a show and they asked if I can go with them. My dad said, "Oh, it's okay, not a problem. She can go if she wants to." And he told me to be safe and all of that and all of that. And pray for my mom and all of that. And let me segue. Let me just give another segue. My mom had a very rough time in the going to Jamaica. She puked almost the entire 3 days, going and coming. So he said, "Pray for your mom because she's puking up the whole place." Let's hope that she feels better. But I wanted to go a show with my friend and her dad. And they were going to Montego Bay. Beautiful place in Jamaica. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. It was a long journey. We went by car and they drove all the way to Montego Bay. Oh my gosh. It was a long drive. I remember that drive well. It was a long drive. We went through Spanish Town, and I love Spanish Town. What I saw of Spanish Town at and on that trip, that drive through, I love it. The architecture is so cool. I love that. I love that part of Jamaica. I'm not too sure of it now, but at that time I loved it. At that time, I haven't been back since to Jamaica. Anyway, so we got to Montego Bay. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. When I tell you, and I went to a resort, I can't tell you what's the name of the resort we ended up at. All I know is that we were at the pool. We could go into the seawater or the pool. There was a buffet with lobster and whatever. Oh my God, we had fun. We had a wonderful time in Jamaica. And when we got back to the ship and we left, that was another 3 days journey again. And my mom threw up the entire 3 days yet again. And I didn't have it so rough. I didn't have it so rough because I was busy running up and down with the other girls. And by the time we got back to Barbados, coming to St. Vincent, my dad wanted us to go to Trinidad and Grenada. But because of school was about to open, and my mom said that we couldn't make it because she don't want me to take any time off school for that. So we came home. We didn't get to go to Trinidad or Grenada. But the whole entire trip was wonderful. The friends that I made on that trip, I kept in touch with them for a short while. I didn't keep it up. I don't know why. But it was really, really good. I enjoyed that trip. Lots of memories from that trip, some of which I have already forgotten, sad to say. But it was fantastic. And out of that trip, I would say that that trip gave me a little brother to have for a short period of time. Um, and other than that, other than the sadness that memory brings, it was really, really good. It was really, really good. Anyone who has the opportunity to go and to come and tour the Caribbean, or go and tour the Caribbean, I would take full advantage of it. It's a really, 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 really good thing to do. You get to see lots of sights and lots of different the different backgrounds of the islands. One part of the trip, I remember we went to St. Lucia and we went to the market in St. Lucia, and I saw them making like potteries and so in the market. And the only thing with the market that I remember, there was a unpleasant scent around the market, but other than that, it was really nice. The trip was fantastic. If you ever have the opportunity to tour the Caribbean, do it. Take the opportunity and do it. It's really nice. And so that's about it for this one. Don't forget to share, subscribe, like the video. You can also leave a comment and let me know, like, if there's anything you think that you might want to hear me talk about. I might have experience with it, or I might just have an opinion on it. But if there's anything that you'd like to see on the channel, you can hit me up in the comments. Let's see what's going on, what's clicking in your head. So Until next time, you guys take it easy. God bless. And always remember to put God first in your life. He's all that matters, and He will take care of you. Trust in Him. Have faith, even if it seems that like He's not there sometimes. Believe me, He's there, and He will take full control of everything, no matter what it is. But you trust in Him, and don't forget to thank Him for the breath that you breathe on a daily basis. Love you guys. Take care. Until the next Pillow Talk. Good night.